Hey, this is They Reminisce Over You. I'm Miguel.
And I'm Christina. And today we're going to talk about the infamous 1995 Source Awards.
The craziest night in award show history, I think.
Okay, let's get started.
So, back in 1995, at that time, we had the Grammys, American Music Awards, all these quote-unquote mainstream award shows. They really weren't showing much love to hip-hop at that time, and the Source Awards basically filled a void that was needed for hip-hop to get its recognition because we weren't getting it from outside. So it needed to be done by somebody that was on the inside to recognize the greatness of hip-hop, because it was still kind of seen as a passing fad at this time. It wasn't taken seriously. And the Source magazine was like the Bible of hip-hop at the time. So their word was golden on the streets.
Yeah, so hip-hop artists would really want to be recognized by them.
Yeah.
I mean, people were trying to get those 5 mic reviews, so imagine getting like an award from them.
Exactly.
Right? Well, you see how it took the Grammys a while to even add a rap category. It was like the late 80s.
Yeah.
But even so, they were giving it to artists like Will Smith,
Right.
Fresh Prince at the time, and Jazzy Jeff and Tone Loc. And, you know, while they have their place in hip hop history too, you know, they definitely represented like a certain type of rap, sort of like the safe, softer, shall I say. And you even see, you know, to this day, that the nominations and categorizations of not only rap, but like R&B music and just basically, you know, black music in general is still confusing.
Yeah.
Like they still can't seem to get it right. And so definitely back in the early to mid 90s, we definitely couldn't expect something like the Grammys or the American Music Awards to even be able to award and recognize the artists and groups that, you know, the community and liked and cared about.
Yeah, it's funny that we watched the Source Awards and we were waiting for the Source Awards because now people are being recognized by their own peers, but yet there were still biases involved even with that.
Oh, yeah. So the first Source Awards show was in 1994, but it wasn't televised.
Yeah.
But there are some clips online, so we know it was wild from the first one.
It sure was.
Apparently, Sticky Fingers was feeling a little underappreciated. They got nominated a few times and didn't win anything, so he decided to literally fire his gun during the song was like "Bust Your Guns" or something.
Yeah, throw your guns.
Throw your guns, and he literally did.
He shot the ceiling.
Did
you watch the video?
I did watch the video.
He pulled out a gun and just let off like 5 shots.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody flinched.
Nope, that's just part of the performance. So you definitely knew this is not going to be something that you would see at the American Music Awards.
Not at all.
The Grammys. So we already knew. I mean, this wasn't televised, so I'd never seen it until now. But you have sort of, I guess, the stage set for the type of environment it's going to be. And then you have that East-West stuff brewing before the 95 awards.
Yeah. Like the 94 awards had that moment with Onyx. And you also had the incident with Tupac coming out performing out on bail in the middle of Tribe Called Quest accepting an award.
Yeah.
The music just starts and he rushes on stage and they're like, the hell, we're getting an award here. So that basically set the stage of what was going to happen in 96 and moving forward.
95.
95 and moving forward when it comes to the Source Awards.
All right. So let's talk about the 95 Source Awards then. So the second annual awards show for the Source. But
first time being on TV.
Yeah, first time it was televised. So I definitely remember watching this. So who were the major players that were coming into the show? Definitely Biggie, since they were filmed in New York.
It was Biggie, Puff, and Bad Boy.
Yep.
Obviously, the Death Row camp and whatnot.
And Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang was big at the time. Nas had just done Illmatic in 94, so he was nominated that year.
He was nominated, but as you watch the show, you see that like Biggie was kind of taking all the shine.
Everything.
And winning all the awards and stuff. So
everything.
It's funny to look back now and see that because you remember Illmatic dramatic as being like it's, held up as a classic.
Right.
But at the Source Awards, where they're supposed to recognize these things,
It wasn't.
He was overshadowed. So
He was.
it's like you almost forgot he was there.
I did until
Yeah.
I was reading an article and Questlove was saying that how he was sitting behind Nas and for all the stuff that he was getting nominated for and losing, he said he could see Nas's spirit just being broken right then.
Well, they came out big. The show started with a medley from the quote inmates of death row.
Yeah.
Which ended up being a big medley from all the death row artists.
Yep.
They had this prison set up basically.
Yeah, it was like a cell block and all the death row people were in each individual cell.
And I was reading an interview with the creator of the show, Dave Mays, I think his name is.
He founded The Source.
Yes. And he said, I had to double check my numbers, which I forgot to do before recording, but I think he said that the death row folks spent like $100,000 on this stage setup. And
it's an interesting use of $100,000 if you ask me.
But, at the time, maybe, you weren't seeing this kind of stuff,
yeah,
right?
That's true.
So they had the whole cell block set up.
Yeah.
And then Dre comes out first, and he does keep the heads ringing. And this is Dre before he looked like an action figure.
Yeah. He was in transition at this point. He wasn't skinny Dre from NWA.
He's regular big dude.
Yeah, he was
but
just
now
big
he's
Dre.
Like an action figure.
Yeah, he's a superhero now. And before we move on,
okay.
Did you notice, well, you really couldn't see it because the quality of the video was so terrible. But in one of the cells was a cutout of Tupac. Oh,
no, I didn't see that.
Yeah, because he was in jail at the time.
Right.
He hadn't officially signed with Death Row yet, but they were in negotiations. So they had a life-size cardboard cutout of him printed up at Kinko's and brought, and he was in one of the cells.
Okay.
Like there are screenshots, if you Google it, you can see the outline of him just standing there. But in the video, it's just so bad, you can't really tell. But just hearing from people who were there, they knew.
Right. So they had all the death row faves. So Dre came out first, and then Daz and Corrupt. And then every crew got to have one girl, right? So
of course.
Lady Rage comes out with her Afro puffs.
Yeah.
I almost died seeing Nate Dogg coming out to Outstanding.
Yeah.
Basically. I mean, he was singing Ain't No Fun, but the
instrumental was outstanding by the Gap Band.
And
what's funny though is, and I'm sure you notice it, but as they're coming out and performing, nobody in the crowd was moving. Like everybody's just sitting there staring like, get off the stage.
Because again, this is filmed in New York.
Yeah.
This is filmed in New York.
For this. Just put Biggie and Wu-Tang on the stage. That's what we're here to see. Like everybody got a response from the crowd except Sam Snead. When he came out and did Recognize, it was like, oh, we like this. Like, Sam Snead?
The one person I didn't know, I was like, who is this guy?
Like, Sam Snead of all people gets the response. Not Dre, not the Dog Pound.
Yeah.
Sam Snead.
And then you get DJ Quick comes out performing his MC8 diss track.
Oh, man. I want to dedicate this to my fiance, MC8.
Because I had to rewind that because when I first heard him say it, I was like, oh, isn't that nice? Like, I'm thinking he's literally dedicating it to his fiance. I was like, maybe he's engaged at this point. And then I was like, wait a minute. Let me rewind that. I'm like, my fiance, MC8.
Yeah.
And then what's hilarious is, everyone's trying to perform sort of like TV friendly versions.
Yeah.
He was like, nah, I'm going to perform this song as is. I'm going to let DJ Pooh just do the little record scratches every time he cusses. But the best line, one of the best lines of the song was, giving your set a bad name with your misspelled name, EIHT, shall I continue?
You left out the G because the G ain't in you.
And then they roll to the credits where they announce who's there, and MC8 is there.
Yeah, not only was he there, if you go back and look at these performances, everybody's kind of working the stage.
He's looking at him, isn't he?
He was looking and pointing right at MC8.
I saw him do that while he was performing, but I thought he was just working the crowd.
No, he was talking to MC8. He walked right to the front of the stage and pointed at this man and talked about him for 2 minutes.
And I'm certain that he decided to perform that song just because he knew he was going to be there.
Of course. That was no accident.
And we can't forget about Snoop's dramatic ass entrance.
Yeah, with Murder Was the Case.
Yes. What's it called? A gurney? It's like the thing they strap you to when
you're about to go to the electric chair.
Right. And then he rises up from it like he's what's that wrestler, The Undertaker?
The Undertaker, yeah. They come rolling him in on this slab, but he did get the biggest response of everybody.
He did. I mean, you know what? At that time, I was heavy into New York East Coast rap too, but I did listen to Doggy Style all the time. Doggy Style and Warren G.
Obviously.
Yes. So
we'll tell this story some other time, but she's probably the biggest Warren G fan.
At the time.
At the time.
Yeah. I mean, I like Regulate the album. I still listen to it, but I was a big Warren G fan, which is funny because, again, like I was saying, I was huge East Coast. So 16-year-old me watching the Source Awards was like, yeah, Wu-Tang and all this stuff. I'm like, fuck Death Row.
Oh, God. That's how we open the award show before they even roll the credits or anything.
Mm-hmm.
We already starting off with some controversy.
Yes.
Hi, kids. Do you like fun?
Yeah.
We're starting a monthly newsletter called Liner Notes. We'll be sharing what we're watching, what we're listening to, throwback YouTube videos, updates on our upcoming projects, random shit you may have missed on the internet, stuff like that. The link is in the show notes, or you can go to troypodcast.com/newsletter. Do it.
Now,
it's good for you.
It'll make your teeth whiter.
And back to the show. All right, next up after that, in terms of performances, Outkast. They're nominated for Best New Artist.
Mm-hmm.
They give the list of people who are in the category as well as Bone Thugs and Harmony, Smith and Wesson,
Ill and Al Scratch. How?
Ill and Al. At the time, Where My Homies was big.
That's one song.
It was, but it was big enough to get them nominated. Again, remember, there weren't as many rappers around to choose from either.
I guess.
So of that foursome, Bone Thugs, Outkast, Ill, Al Scratch, and Smith and Wesson.
Right.
You got Kid from Kid and Play and Salt and Pepper announcing.
And Spinderella. Actually, I just want to note something.
Okay.
You know how their biopic just came out recently, and there's like beef with Spinderella saying how she was left out of the project.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you noticed, Spin was standing off to the side the whole time.
Yeah, it was just the two of them and Kid talking, and she was just there.
And then Salt and Pepper were like, "Oh, remember when we used to be whatever their old group name was?"
Yeah.
And then Spin jumps in, she's like, "Well, that was 10 years ago, so y'all need to let that go." She just spent the rest of the time just off to the side looking sour. And so it's just funny, like now knowing that they, had some issues, that looks so awkward.
She's just standing there.
I'm sure I didn't notice at the time.
No, who would?
All right, so they announced the nominees.
Yes, and of course, it's smattering of applause when some people are mentioned and boos when others are mentioned. And they open the envelope. Sidebar. These envelopes, I don't know if you noticed it when you were watching it.
I did not.
It's like they were stapled, welded, and glued shut. Nobody could open any of these envelopes.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
So that added to a lot of the tension too, because the nominees or the winners weren't announced immediately. And that was another when they finally rip it open and all of them are like, Outkast.
It was so... And then you hear, boo.
Yeah, they instantly got booed.
And it sounded like... Maybe it was the booze, but it also sounded like, I feel like I could literally hear people say no as well.
You probably could, because I'm sure they wanted Smith and Wesson to
It was
win.
so underwhelming. Like, you've never seen the presenters be so underwhelming.
Yeah.
It's one thing for the crowd to boo, but the presenters were like...
And the winner is, ladies, help me out. Outkast. Goody Ma.
So they come up on stage amidst all these boos and jeers and stuff.
And you can see in Dre's face from the time he gets up.
He is heated.
That he was heated. He's clapping aggressively, stalking the stage like a panther. It's like, I hate everybody in this room.
And you see Big Boy is trying to be diplomatic.
Yeah.
He's all like, I know we in New York. I know we're in your house. And he's trying to like say thank you, but also like, I get why you guys probably want someone else to win, but then Andre's just pacing back and forth.
Clapping aggressively. The most aggressive clap I've seen in a long time.
Yes.
It wasn't, oh yeah, we won. He was like, I hate everybody.
And also like, you need to clap for us.
Right.
But it did lead to a very important moment for all Southern rappers. He basically, a call to arms?
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, first of all, you know what I'm saying? We want to thank God, just, you know what I'm saying, dead serious, because if it weren't for him, you know what I'm saying, we wouldn't be here. But it's like this, though. I'm tired of folks, you know what I'm saying? Them closed-minded folks, you know what I'm saying? It's like we got a demo tape and don't nobody want to hear it, but it's like this, the South got something to say. That's all I got to say.
You can tell like he was so upset because he was trying to think of what to say because he kind of stuttered a bit.
It was not a happy moment for them at all. And again, this is 18 minutes into the show.
And this is the reception they get winning New Artist of the Year.
They're getting booed, and now we look back and they're possibly the greatest hip hop duo of all time.
Right.
I know the show was edited, and I'm not sure which order these were actually presented in, but just based on Dre's response, there was a lot of tension in that room because you just look at the crowd and nobody's having a good time.
Yeah.
At all.
So I don't know if it was how they set up the audio equipment, but throughout the entire show, you can just hear just the crowd noise. Just a lot of like...
While people are on stage trying to present awards.
Presenting awards, announcing awards, performing, anything.
You can just hear people talking and yelling.
Yes. It was just like, you can feel the tension.
Yeah. I'm surprised no one got hurt that night.
Yeah.
Just looking at it from our view.
Yeah.
It's like everybody in that room was mad about something. Whether they're from the West Coast and the South and they're not getting recognition. Yeah. You got the people from New York and the East Coast mad because everybody else is here. It was a lot going on.
Yeah. After this awkward presentation and Outkast getting booed and stuff, we go into a performance by the 69 Boys.
The 69 Boys of
They're
all
doing
people.
Tootsie Roll.
Yes.
And it's hilarious.
Like they get booed when they first come out there. And people like get them off the stage.
But what's so funny is like, you know, it's this high energy song.
Yeah.
And, you know, down in Florida and stuff, everybody twerks, male, females, whatever. Everyone's...
A whole lot of ground humping and ass shaking was happening at this point.
And it was hilarious because you have all these like New Yorkers, these like, you know, listening to like Wu-Tang, Biggie type people. And then you got the 69 Boys up there just twerking, ass shaking, humping the ground. Ass up in the air, and it just looks so out of place.
And what's funny about this is...
And everybody's just sitting down.
Everybody's not reacting or anything. I don't know if this is some creative editing or what. Yeah. But they cut to Biggie, and he was grooving.
Yeah. I mean, when they cut to people in the audience, you can see some people nodding their heads and stuff. I don't think it was creative editing in the sense of like he was nodding to something else. But no one was live enough to like actually get up and dance. So even if you're like nodding in your seat as a performer, I would imagine, especially I'm sure they're used to much more high energy audiences, right? As a performer, I think it would be weird if you're over there with your ass up twerking and everyone's just sitting in their seats.
But Biggie was feeling it though. Yeah. Biggie's like, this is my shit right here.
Yeah. But I just think it just made it seem so much more awkward because of the environment they were in.
Yeah.
But if you looked at, there's some footage from the 94 events when Luke performed. Although they had girls on the stage too, so maybe that helps.
Yeah, that changes things.
Because everybody was really into it. But you just got these four dudes twerking.
Right, humping the ground.
Yeah, to a New York audience. It just makes it look so awkward. It's like, this is not Freaknik.
Not at all.
It seems so out of place. Everybody here wearing Timbs and you over here with your Harlem Globetrotter shorts on.
And there was a time when they were showing some crowd shots, and I'm like, is that somebody sitting there with a ski mask on? So I rewind it, and yes, it was.
Not surprised.
And then as I'm watching the rest of the show, I started thinking about it. It was Ghostface, because this was at the time when he was covering his face. Because when Wu-Tang performed later, I saw him on the stage. Like, oh, that makes sense now. It wasn't just some random New Yorker in the crowd with a face mask on.
Well, there might have been somebody else.
It's possible there could have been, but it was Ghostface.
Well, not all the performances were met with boos, shall we say.
No.
Jermaine Dupri and the Brat performed after, and it was, I mean, they weren't hype, but there was no booing. Like, people generally enjoyed it.
They got some polite claps.
Yeah, it was non-controversial. There was a lot of, I guess, underhanded comments. Not necessarily like JD wasn't being underhanded in a negative way in the sense of like trying to be petty. He was just like, well, if these people are not going to shut him out, then I will.
Right.
Right.
And then at the same time, everybody who came out was like, what up, New York? We love
Yeah.
New York, blah, blah, blah. But New Yorkers get up there and like,
Right.
Brooklyn.
Yeah. See, I was just about to say that. It's like they all knew. They're like, we got to be nice because like we're
Right.
in New York. So everybody's trying to be polite. Like, what's up, New York?
Yeah. Accept us, please.
Yeah. Well, after watching the show, I've had I'm gonna give it to you stuck in my head on and off for
Yeah,
like 2
me
days.
too.
Word up.
Hey.
Hey.
Just looking at the notes here, I forgot to ask you,
Mhm.
what were you listening to at this time?
Oh, well, pretty much everyone that you saw on
Right.
the in the award show itself.
We know Warren G.
Warren G. But again, as I had mentioned already, I was mostly into like East Coast rap.
Yeah.
And so it was a lot of Nas, Wu-Tang, who else?
Ill Al Scratch.
Not Ill Now Scratch. No. And I was obviously listening to a lot of R&B too. So Mary J, of course,
Yeah.
because My Life came out around this time. We'll
Yeah.
have to talk about that on another episode. But some really great R&B was out at this time too. So Mary J, Aaliyah, of course,
Right.
TLC, Jodeci,
Yeah.
Blackstreet, Janet Jackson, all this stuff. Rap wise, again, pretty much all the people you saw
Yeah.
in the award show.
Us.
Nas, Biggie, Wu-Tang, those were sort of the main ones.
Yeah. But speaking of R&B,
Mhm.
they gave out the award for Best R&B Album. The nominees were Mary J,
Mhm.
TLC, Brandy of all people, and the nigga who shall not be named.
Well, Brandy was big at the time.
She was, but looking at that list,
Yeah, I
did she
guess.
really
No,
fit in
I think
with
so.
that list?
I think so. Like, that album was pretty popular.
It was, but the clip that they ran for her nomination
Yeah.
was Best Friend.
I know. I think
Like-
I think it was more so it just seemed so out of place.
It did.
Because you got Wu-Tang presenting it. And, Mary is a favorite amongst hip-hop
Right.
fans, right? TLC, same, they kind of got the hip-hop vibe. And obviously,
The nigga who shall not be named.
yes. And then you got Brandy, my best friend,
Right.
this little like pop R&B, but she was really popular. And you see like
She was.
she always had a lot of like rappers and stuff do remixes with her. So,
Yeah, I guess. I wouldn't have personally chosen it. But
well, she didn't win anyway.
she didn't. And that's a good thing.
My girl Mary won
Yes. Came stumbling up on stage.
with her all white.
Yeah.
And of course, her signature boots.
She was in her auntie phase back in 1995 at like 22 years old or whatever.
Was it?
It
I don't know.
was because she wears these same outfits now, and we know she's an auntie now.
She's an auntie now.
And she was then too.
No, she wasn't.
Yeah, she
Not
was.
yet.
She was an auntie in training.
Okay.
How about that?
I'll allow that.
She
I
was a
suppose.
junior auntie. That's what she was.
Okay.
This is They Reminisce Over You. I'm Miguel.
And I'm Christina. We wanted to take a minute to make a small request of all our listeners. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Goodpods, or Podchaser, leave us a 5-star rating. You can also leave a review as well on Apple, Goodpods, and Podchaser. Ratings and reviews will help us with discoverability, and we want to get this out to as many like-minded folks as we can,
We want to get on the first page of these podcast apps.
and to move up on the charts as well. So help us get the word out.
Make sure to follow and interact with us on social media. Also, check out our website, troypodcast.com. It's where we post links to a lot of the things that we mentioned in the show, as well as transcripts and themed playlists that supplement our episodes and more.
Thank you again for your support.
Let's talk about more of the memorable moments. I'm
Okay.
sure you have more on your list over there.
So to follow up the Death Row medley, of course, they had to have the Bad Boy medley. Diddy coming out being dramatic
Oh, boy.
as usual. He's on a pulpit?
Yep.
And he's saying his little prayer.
Head down. You
Head
can't even
down.
see his face.
And of course, he says all this blah, blah, blah. And then I live in the East and I'm going to die in the East.
The nerve of this nigga. Let's talk about this.
Okay.
Now I lay me down to sleep, down to sleep, down to sleep. Pray the Lord my soul to keep. And if I should die before I wake, I pray to God I die a bad boy, bad boy. God bless all my people in the streets. God bless my people making hot beats. God bless all my peoples locked down, locked down, locked down. I live in the East, in the East, in the East. And I'm gonna die in the East.
So we were talking about how the tensions had been building between East and West for like 2-3 years prior to this. He gets on this stage in front of all these people and says, I was born in the East and I'm gonna die in the East. We know what that means.
Yep.
And he's getting up here at the end of the performance talking about, we love the West Coast. We love this. We love that.
See, that's Diddy being petty.
Yeah, like, how you going to be like playing both sides right now?
You see, I feel like that's Diddy being petty, just him like pretending to take the high road.
Yeah. And to this day, he insists that I had nothing to do with perpetuating this East Coast, West Coast stuff. Like, dude, you were getting on stage and doing stuff like this. And I watched a video with Dave Mays, and he was saying that he thought that Diddy did that in response to stuff that happened earlier in the night.
Right.
That's not possible, though, because that was a produced segment while he's sitting there with his head down. So he came there with the intentions of doing that.
Unless Dave Mays was just saying he thought that he slipped in that line last minute, because the whole thing is produced, but it starts with him saying his little prayer, I guess. Like, that's something you could, in theory, change last minute.
You could, but he didn't have a microphone.
Oh, I
so
didn't
he
notice
was just
that.
there with his head down. That's just pre-recorded audio that was being played.
I thought that was live audio.
So he came into that building with the intention of instigating something.
So any chance he wasn't being petty at the end and that was his way of trying to tone it down?
It's probably he saw what was happening in the room,
right,
and was like, you know what, this might get out of hand, maybe I need to bring it back a little bit, because it's some shooters out here. Because I'm sure they didn't have security. If they let Sticky Fingers get in the year before and shoot guns into the ceiling.
Yeah. Well, Sticky Fingers says security came eventually, but they let him continue to perform after he shot the guns.
So yeah, Diddy saying that, I was like, come on, you a hypocrite, dog.
Well, with me being like big into like East Coast hip hop at the time, this whole performance was especially memorable for me because, of course, I was like, you know, Bad Boys, Total Biggie and stuff. So I really remember this performance quite clearly, more so than the Death Row performance. But the irony of Craig Mack, well, he came out first, but the irony of his song, Flavor in Your Ear, and the line of saying, you won't be around next year.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Famous last words.
Well, the thing that I will say the thing that I love about the whole Bad Boy feel, family sound, whatever, is that he really created, influenced the R&B hip hop sound.
Yeah.
So you have this medley where you have Craig Mack and you have Junior Mafia and you have Biggie, but you bring out Total and Faith and it all matches. Like it doesn't seem like, oh, why are we listening to like hardcore rap music and then there's some R&B song? Like it all goes together because like after Flavor in Your Ear comes on, Faith comes out and does You Used to Love Me. And what's funny is like the crowd's going wild and people are up out of their seats dancing to You Used to Love Me. Whereas when 69 Boys is doing Tootsie Roll, everybody's in their seats.
Yeah, nothing's happening.
Like Tootsie Roll is this kind of song you get up and dance for. Like You Used to Love Me, you just kind of nod your head and lean, but everybody was getting excited when Faith came out. And then Total came out.
Yeah.
And then Diddy, of course, dancing. And
bopping all around. I don't know if you caught this, but what's your man's name? I Dare You. Harv Pierre. He's walking around with the big platinum plaques.
Oh,
it was him.
God.
And then there was another guy on the stage in boxers
and Timbs.
Like, who was that?
I have that in my notes. I'm like, can you imagine being the dude holding up the plaques?
The platinum
and there
plaques.
was like the Notorious B.I.G. signs and stuff in your boxers and Timbs.
I was trying to get a good shot of whoever that was, their face, so I can see who it was. Like, I recognize Harv, but I couldn't see who that was in the boxers and Timbs.
I couldn't see either. I'm like, why is he in his boxers and Timbs? I remember I really loved the Junior Mafia performance when they came out because Lil' Kim comes out in her little black slinky dress or negligee. Not sure if it's a dress or negligee.
I didn't even pay attention to what she was wearing. I was too busy looking at her little bounce that she's still doing to this day.
Still doing. But it's always like, you know, when you are a woman listening to hip hop, there's some misogyny that you have to contend with.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Just a little bit, but damn, that misogyny slaps sometimes,
It
right?
does.
So it's always like, I think, especially when you're young too, right? You see like a girl that's like part of the crew and you see like a woman holding it down with all these like very masculine men.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like you just can't help but love it. So when she came out and she's so tiny and she's got this little slinky dress on with all these men with their Timbs and baggy jeans and stuff.
And
then
jerseys.
she just comes out, she's just like, right? You can't help but get a little excited.
Something else that just cracked me up, and apparently you as well.
I heard you laughing. I know what you're about to say.
So they had AMG, Miss Jones, and Flavor Flav announcing some award. I don't even remember what it was.
I have it written down. It was for Best Motion Picture Soundtrack.
Okay, so they're doing the award presentation, and the first thing I noticed is Flavor Flav is in a cast. So he's got the cast on his left arm, but his right arm is in a sling too. So I'm thinking,
you know what? I
what
didn't
the
notice.
hell it happened to Flavor Flav?
I didn't even notice the sling.
Yeah.
I saw the cast, but I didn't see the sling.
His other arm was in a sling, because that's why when it was time to open the envelope, he had to get somebody to help. He's like, I can't open this.
Yeah, I just thought it was from the cast.
No, it was because his other arm was in a sling
man.
too. And as he's having trouble with these envelopes that everybody else was, AMG goes, so Flav, how'd you break your arm?
Run to your arm, Flay.
Huh?
Run to your arm.
You know what happened? Broke it, nickel.
And I died.
Me too.
I died when I
The
heard
way
that.
he said it,
And the look on Miss Jones's face
he was so indignant.
when he said that. She's like, I can't believe he just said this.
And then AMG did not even respond.
Nope, not at all.
He had no reaction though.
He
He was
didn't.
just like, okay.
It's like, all right, sounds legit to me. Broke it, nickel.
Well, Above the Rim won for
Yeah.
that one, in case you were wondering.
And that is when basically all hell breaks loose. Is when Mr. Marion Knight, aka Suge, comes up on stage to accept the award for soundtrack of the year. Why was Danny Boy?
Of all people,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess he was on death row at the time.
He was signed to Death Row, but of all the people to go up on stage, why was Danny Boy the second one to
And
go
he was
up?
so hyped too.
He was. So much so that he elbowed Suge as they're leaving off the stage.
I missed that.
Yeah, when he goes through his whole infamous,
First of all, I'd like to thank God. Second of all, I'd like to thank my whole entire Death Row family on both sides, you know what I'm saying? I'd like to tell Tupac to keep his guards up. We riding with him. And one other thing I'd like to say, any artists out there want to be an artist and want to stay a star and don't want to have to worry about the executive producer trying to be all in the videos, all on the record, dancing. Come to Death Row.
that's when the booze started raining down
Yep.
again. We're skipping ahead a little bit,
Okay.
but to tie this to another story, later when Diddy comes out to present an award, he's like, well, I'm the executive producer that was talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he's trying to, we don't need to be doing this, blah, blah, blah. And we should get along. I love everybody. I would never
Right.
do something like that. But I'm going to die in the East because I was born in the East. Like, you can't be saying both of these in the same show, Diddy. Come on.
You know what? I think the more that we talk about it, I really think that he was trying to bring the tone down. Like, I think he was coming out with his chest out, like, I live in the East and die in the East. But I think
get it.
he started to realize that this might actually be dangerous.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
And I understand it. But whenever he talks about this, he says that he has never instigated anything.
Yeah.
Never. It's
Mhm.
like, you started all of it by saying, I live in the East and I'm die in the East. Like, come on, man. Don't do that.
Well, it's funny because it's like everyone was trying to, I guess, tone things down too, because after Suge made his, infamous Come to Death Row, the next presenter for Producer of the Year was Sam Cassell and John Singleton. And I'm laughing about Sam Cassell because of something you told me.
Yeah, I saw a comment in the YouTube video for this, and it was left like a week ago, and people are still calling this man E.T.
It's so rude.
It is. 20 years later, he's still been called E.T. But anyway.
Anyway, so John Singleton comes out, and before he even, announces the nominees, he goes into, a little mini speech about, all this East and West stuff. It's got to, all this killing, we got to stop it. And like, there's all this noise in the crowd, like the jeering and just general
Basically, I'm surprised nobody yelled out, "Get off the stage, fool!"
Yeah, like they just move.
Yeah.
Right?
And he's trying.
Yeah, he's
but
trying.
Nobody's paying attention to him.
And then you have your nominees: Dr. Dre, DJ Premier, Easy Mo Bee, Pete Rock, and then Dre wins.
Yeah. And when he opened it, again, wrestling this envelope
Mm-hmm.
open, John Singleton's like, "Oh, shit."
He actually said, like, uh-oh.
Yeah, it's like,
No, the Source Award, the winner is, we're going to have some trouble here. The DRE. Dr. Dre.
And then Dre comes up and Snoop comes up with him, and another infamous line is said.
but just like with Outkast, Dre is trying to be cordial.
Right?
And in the middle of this, that's when Snoop just snatches the microphone from
Literally snatches the microphone.
And just goes off into his tirade.
What? Wait. The East Coast don't love Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg? The East Coast ain't got no love for Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg and Death Row? Y'all don't love us? Y'all don't love us? Well, let it be known then. We don't give a fuck. We know y'all East Coast. We know where the fuck we at. East Coast in the motherfucking house.
That's my favorite part. Well, let it be known then.
And the anger in his face, you can just see how mad he is with his little walking stick and his bandana around his neck.
Tensions were high.
Yeah, a little bit.
And then after that, you got the two executive producers, David Mays, as we mentioned before, and Mike, I didn't catch his last name.
Yeah, somebody.
Yeah. They come out looking so nervous.
Yeah. Because they're like, "Oh my God.
What have we done?"
It's like, we have started some shit here tonight.
And we're probably like halfway through the show,
Yeah.
maybe at this point.
Now, this is halfway through what's been aired. So, there's twice as much footage and they've been there twice as long at this point, probably.
Nervous. They look so nervous. But then they're presenting the Lifetime Achievement Award to Eazy-E. And then
He had just recently passed.
Yeah. And then Bone Thugs performs, and I think that kind of calmed things down a little bit.
For a little bit.
Yeah, because Bone Thugs is neutral territory here.
But something I had an issue with was in the video package they put together for Easy. I'm listening to the narrator talk, and at one point he says, "The gangster Easy wasn't humbled by an Uzi or a beatdown, but a disease." I'm like, the only way for this man to die was for him to get beat up or shot? Like, who wrote this?
I didn't even catch that.
I'm like, that was pretty disrespectful.
Yikes.
He wasn't humbled by an Uzi or a beatdown, but a disease. Like, God damn. Oh, man, I know he was from Compton, but at least say maybe he could have lived to be old.
Yeah, it might be possible.
Yeah. When Bone came out, I was expecting them to perform Crossroads, but then they ran through some other hits. I was like, so they ain't gonna do Crossroads? But then I thought about it, like, it wasn't done at that point. So Crossroads was to come later. But I really wanted to hear it, but I did get here for the love of money and First of the Month.
First of the month. Bone Thugs got some hits.
They do. Wake up, wake up, wake up.
It's the first of the month.
Yeah, I love that shit.
Yeah, I was like, I need to re-listen to that album.
The next thing up was they were doing Artist of the Year group, but that's when you get Prodigy and Havoc announcing this award, and they grab the microphone.
Oh, it was so annoying. I'm like, my ears.
And they're screaming into the microphone. And from that point for the rest of the show, those microphones did not work at all.
Because not only did they grab it, they actually put their hands around the mic. You know when you put it right up to your mouth?
Yeah.
Should I do it right now? No.
No, let's not.
When you put it right up to the mouth and it just distorts the sound.
It was muffled and distorted and
loud.
Tonight's nominees, know what I'm saying, for Best Artist Group of the Year, know what I'm saying, strong players in the hip-hop industry, know what I'm saying.
From that point forward, those microphones did not work for the rest of the night. Everybody that came up there sounded like that.
That was when I realized, oh, Nas is here.
Yeah.
Because Biggie was just cleaning up.
Yeah. And Nas was there losing all the awards he was nominated
and I
for.
was like, oh yeah, Illmatic. Remember that little album? Didn't it get 5 mics? One of the few 5 mics?
It did, but it didn't win anything that night.
It sure didn't.
At all. Yeah, I was bothered by them screaming into the microphone. I thought it was just going to be Havoc, and then Prodigy does it too. Like, come on, people.
Yes.
You know better.
So Mobb Deep and Nas come up to present Artist of the Year group. Wu-Tang, Salt and Pepper, Gangstar, Heavy D, of course. No surprise. Wu-Tang wins.
Yeah.
What I thought was hilarious is I don't know if the crowd could hear this or if this was something more for just like edited after for the airing, but there's a voiceover that states how the winners are determined.
Yeah, I wrote that down too.
So it's like, are they just trying to prove that this was a democratic process and this has nothing to do with the fact that the source is based in New
Right.
York?
It was democratically chosen by the staff. 10,000 ballots mailed to subscribers. You're like, come on now. We don't believe that at all. We know it was like 6 of y'all in a room and came up with these lists.
Oh, speaking of subscribers, here's a little reminder of how old we are.
Okay.
So in between the commercial breaks and stuff, they have little commercials for
Right.
trying to get people to subscribe to the actual source magazine, right? Because, you know, back in the day, we read stuff in our hands.
Right.
That wasn't
Physical copies.
Yeah, physical copies. To which I have several sources hanging around, which I like to flip through
Every
just
now
for
and then.
shits and giggles every now
Look
and
at
again.
people's fashion.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, so these commercials were like, there was one where you could get a free CD compilation
Oh,
mix if
boy.
you sign up right now. They had a number, actual phone number
Yes.
for you to call so that you can subscribe to a physical magazine
Oh, I
and you get a
remember those
free
days.
CD compilation. I was like, God damn, we're old.
Yeah, the commercials were amazing
Uh,
because there was one for Crooked Eye.
Crooked Eye Juice.
Oh boy, the idea that St. Ives, is malt liquor company, is selling juice.
Crooked Eye is St. Ives?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah, it was made by St. Ives. But that commercial is hilarious. So they had that one. There was a commercial for the Dog Pound's dog food album.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure a lot of money were put into making these commercials,
Mm-hmm.
but they look so cheap now.
They do.
Cheap and low budget.
Well, just like they allegedly spent $100,000 on that cell block
Right.
setup. Well, we're now getting closer to the end of the show.
Yep.
And I think at this point, it is starting to kind of calm down a bit. There's
A
still
little
that
bit.
sort of general, lots of jeering and just kind of just general noise going throughout. Again, I don't know if it was just how the mics were set up or something, because it just sounded like a lot of, you know, when
could
you're
hear
just
everything.
yeah,
in
you're
the
just like
crowd.
in a room when there's a lot of people talking. That's what it
Yeah.
sounded like, right? So I don't know if that was because people were still sort of like booing and jeering, but I think it was just sort of general crowd noise too.
Yeah.
But it did seem like things were kind of starting to calm down a little bit. But then you have single of the year is being announced, Flavor in Your Ear won. And then before they announced the winner, so it was Flavor in Your Ear, Thuggish Ruggish Bone,
Mhm.
Afro Puffs, and Regulate
Yep.
was nominated for single of the year. There are audible boos
When Regulate
when
was
Regulate
announced.
was announced.
Sure was.
So maybe I take it back in terms of like things were settling down.
The boos were coming. And I'm sure this is where you were going with it when Craig Mack won.
Mm-hmm.
One of his homies is like, East Coast.
Yeah.
East Coast. Oh, come on, man. Like you finally got this room calmed down. And here you are starting shit again.
Then it's followed by performance from Method Man.
Yeah.
So
Which was hands down the best performance of the entire
Yeah.
show.
because it's a great song.
Yeah.
Method Man's a great performer.
Bring the
He's got
pain.
good energy and he jumped into the crowd and stuff. And so everybody was into it.
Yeah. That was hands down the best performance of the entire show.
Mm-hmm.
And makes me want to see Method Man live, which I never have.
I'm trying to remember. I think I did see him. Yeah, I saw him. Now I can't remember. I think I did see him.
Well, I know for a fact that
Yeah.
I haven't seen him live. Christina may or may not have seen him.
Now I'm trying to remember if it was him or someone else. Okay, I'm pretty sure it was Method Man. And it was like a small performance like at a club. So,
Right.
you know, it's not a big venue. And I waited till the end of the night to get a picture with him. And of course I was excited. And I heard someone call me a groupie.
Oh, nice.
I was like, oh, okay, what about all these men who are literally shoving me aside to take a picture with him?
Oh, boy.
So they're like, ugh, look at this groupie. Like, excuse me? Like, I'm the only one taking pictures
Yeah,
here?
there's 40 other groupies in this room.
And they're like dudes.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it make more sense for me to want to take a picture with Method Man?
Oh, man.
But anyways, whatever.
So that leads us to the final award of the night, Album of the Year. And again, the nominees were Ready to Die by Biggie,
Of course.
Nas's Illmatic,
Hmm.
Southern Playlist of Cadillac Music by Outkast, and The Diary by Scarface. And the winner was
Ready to Die.
Ready to Die because, of course, Biggie was going to win every category that he was nominated in. And again, all this tension is going on in the theater. Biggie comes up with like 60 people to accept his award. And he's got a bottle of alcohol in his hand, so I guess he's a little inebriated as well.
He's feeling good.
He's feeling good, so that's when things start getting kicked up again. You can hear the crowd murmuring and people getting antsy and, Brooklyn, we did it. Brooklyn, stand up.
Yeah.
And of course, like I said, there's like 60 people on stage with him. Like, Biggie just won. What you gonna do about it?
You know what I think also doesn't help? Like, you had this sort of East-West tension or whatever, but you know how hanger-ons are?
Yeah. Those are usually the ones that start shit.
Yeah. So in general, like, you already have this thing that is brewing, and then you just have people who just kind of want to be around the action.
Yep.
And so they're in there going, yeah, East Coast or whatever. So they're kind of like making it worse.
So that basically wrapped up the 1995 Source Awards, the second annual Source Awards. A lot of shit went down.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of historical hip hop moments happened. But this show was so out of control that they didn't do the Source Awards again for another 3 years.
Yeah, because when I was I wanted to watch some of the other years because I remember, you see clips here and there and I was like, oh, some wild stuff happened in the other years as well. And I was like, how come I don't see anything? It seems like the next one I see is like 1999. Am I forgetting something or? Not
at all. Because I had to think about it too. It was like, what happened to the rest of them?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, this shit was so bad that they were like, you know what? We need some time to figure out how to actually produce a legit award show. Because
and not
this
just
was
let a bunch
wreck.
of dudes milling around, basically.
Yeah.
Anytime you look at the audience shots, there's just men just milling about.
Right. In the aisles.
Yeah.
People standing up facing away from the stage. Like, what is going on here? So they had to shut it down for a couple years before they could get it back together.
Okay. Yeah, it's not so much the awards show, but I think also the year that this happened.
Right.
I think that's also what made it so memorable because 94 and 95 was basically the second golden era of hip hop. So you had the golden era during the 80s when it, first started
to blow up.
Yeah, but for, people in our generation when we were growing up in the 90s, like 94 to 95 was like, you had, as we already know from this show, we had, Ready to Die, Omatic, Southern Playlist, all this stuff. But there were tons of other good stuff that came out this year, like notable stuff, things that became classics or memorable or notable. Like we had a bunch of the solo albums from Wu-Tang. We had Tikal, Method Man's, Raekwon, Old Dirty Bastard, GZA. All of them had their solo. Bone Thugs, of course, Redman, Mobb Deep, Goody Mob. Like there was so much good stuff coming out at that time. So I think that's also sort of what just made 95 in general just really special for this time. And then you have all this drama at Source Awards
on top of it. Okay, so we're going to wrap up here.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you all for listening to us ramble again.
And coming back again.
Coming back and checking it out. If you like what you're hearing, just tell one person and have that person tell somebody else. Just get these numbers up. We're trying to get some more listeners and followers. So.
And please rate and subscribe. That will also help.
All of that on your podcast service of choice. You can check us out on the Bird at Troy Podcast. Get some flaming hot tweets in your system. Also on Instagram at Troy Podcast as well. Every episode we have a playlist that we put together, a companion playlist on Spotify. So just search for the title of this episode on Spotify or at Troy Podcast and you'll find it there as well.
Yes.
You can go to TroyPodcast.com if you want to figure out which one of these services you can listen to us on. We're pretty much on everything: Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, all of those. So your podcast service of choice, we're there. Got any last word?
Listen to some hip hop from 1995.
Listen to some 1995 hip hop. Go check out the 1995 Source Awards so you can see all the madness that we were talking about. We will link to it so you get the exact link that we found because there's two of them out there. One of them doesn't have commercials, one does. You need to see the one with the commercials. That's pretty much it.
All right.
See y'all next time.
Bye.
I broke my arm, nigga. Oh boy.